Hello and welcome back to the stream. Hey Ricochet, how are you doing? Nobody's in chat yet, but yeah, I guess I will just start the spelling bee all by myself. I don't really have much planned for today because I'm just really sick and yeah, really tired, and it's one of those days. And New South Wales got flogged last night, so that was pretty heartbreaking to watch. I did hit the sojus pretty hard, I've got to say. I may or may not have gone into the park across the road from me and and vented some frustrations. Yes. All right. I'm gonna remember to put up the screen. Look at me go. Look at me go, guys. All right. How many words can I make with 7 letters? I don't know. How many can I make? We have to use L and we have ENTIPNM. All right. Melt. Oh, why'd I put an I there? Hi, Hyperbovian. Oh, we can have EpiPen. Oh no, we can't. There's no L. Lint? What are you saying, Hyperbovian?
안녕하세요.
I just realized I didn't have my headphones on, and that's like not the first time I've done that. Just when sitting here, I mean, there's no sound with this really anyway, but I don't know. My brain is definitely, things aren't getting better. They're definitely deteriorating. Telly. Nothing. We do have meant. We do have meant, so we can look for words ending in meant. Entitlement. Oh. Elementop. Oh, we got an ad break coming. La 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 la. Pam. With an L, with an L. Bad beats on the game. Yeah, it's just some random royalty free music. Oh yeah, that was, I was so tilted. My neighbors probably think I'm the craziest bitch out. I mean, I'm sure they probably would just Google why is she just losing her brain like on a Wednesday every now and again. I'm sure they would like Google like, oh, because obviously like it's not something that people really know about or care about in Victoria, so it's not, you know, they don't necessarily know what's going on, but sports right now that make my neighbors freak. What am I missing? There's got to be something that's like obvious, right? Otherwise, why would you do this to me? Implement. Yeah. That is a good one. Yay, it's over. Thank God. I don't have the capacity today for anything. I'm just so tired. Hey, Dango. Good to see you. Yay, Dango's here. Where's Joey tonight? He's disappeared. Play 5 times 5 crossword. Oh, that's the mini, right? Breakfast sandwich option. Burrito. I don't know. I don't know what a breakfast sandwich is. Is a bagel a breakfast sandwich? Oh, hey, Rubber-Dub Dan. Nice to see you. Like much toothpaste? First, second, or third, but not fourth. Place? Ooh. No, that doesn't even fit. It's 4 letters. Okay. Party game with accusations from villagers. Three, actor Nick on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The NBA's Pacers familiarly fail at stand-up. Nick Cage is on the walk. Yeah, maybe Minnie isn't the first thing. Party game with accusations from villagers. I don't know. Does anyone here play party games? I don't know. When I hang out with my friends, I just get drunk. Well, not really, because I'm not allowed to drink. But that's what I used to do. The game with villagers is Mafia. Okay. Is it an Italian village? What is happening in that particular village? Sounds a bit dodgy. All right, breakfast sandwich option. Breakfast sandwich option with a bunch of A's in it. An A as a second letter and an A as... Maybe it's like an Italian sandwich. What can we have? Focaccia? No, that doesn't fit. I don't know. Fail stand up. Maybe bomb? I feel like maybe. Total Legends. 2 down. I don't know. Oh, wait. I put this in the wrong place. Of course I did. Because why wouldn't I? Alright, we've got to go for actor Nick on the Hollywood Walk of Fame again. It's not Cage because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 letters. Bombing that stamp. Beans on toast. Bacon. Let's try bacon. I was thinking of a type of sandwich. For some reason, I thought that's what the question said. But I am very sleep deprived. I drank last night and I was a very crook chook when I woke up in the morning. Let me tell you, I had a headache. You know what I did? I decided to go buy some soju. So I went to the bottler to get soju. And then I was like, well, I hadn't eaten all day and it was like 6. I was like, well, I'm just going to grab, because Macca's have wings. So I was going to grab those. So I went and grabbed those. And then I ate those while I was watching the game. Actually, I finished them before the game started. Yeah. I had those and ranch sauce and like buffalo sauce. And then I was like, oh, I've got to... Yeah, so I watched the game and I can't even tell a story tonight. I watched the game and, you know, got drunk and mad because what the fuck was that, guys? What the fuck was that? And like much toothpaste, maybe mint. I don't know. Mint doesn't fit though, but it starts with M. Toothpaste is mint. Oh, hey Joey. Yeah, so because I went to the gym the night before, so I went to the gym on Tuesday. Minty, that makes sense. I was like, oh, I've got to have some protein, right? So I had a stomach full of alcohol and chicken, and I was feeling fine before this. I had a stomach full of alcohol and like dirty Macca's chicken wings. And I was like, oh, I didn't have enough protein today because I looked up like five wings at Macca's is like 45 grams of protein. So I was like, all right, I'm going to slam a Rockabee's because I have like a Rockabee's choc honeycomb drink in the fridge. So I slammed that. And as soon as like 2 minutes later, I'm like, I have to spew. Like I am going to chuck. This is like so gross. I feel so ugh. And yeah, it was just all down it was just all downhill from there. It was a really unpleasant evening. It was a really unpleasant evening, but you know what? I did it to myself. I did it to myself. So yeah, it was awful. Because it wasn't even, you know, I was kind of buzzed, but I wasn't like drunk. And I know like that my bloods and everything in terms of like toxicity from my medication, I keep it under control. Like I take milk thistle every day and I get like glutathione, which helps your body like detox from like chemotherapy drugs and stuff like that. So I do all this stuff, like I go above and beyond like taking care of my health. So I'm like, well, I know that's not it, right? But yeah, I just made a stupid decision. This might still be mini. I'm gonna go with mini, the mini crossword. All right. Actor on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Actor Nick on the Hollywood Walk of Fame with an I and an N as the first two letters and a Y as the last letter. Is it meta? It could be meta. But this is the mini crossword and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why I assumed it was that. But I mean, I could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. Total Legends icons. That fits. Last night's game was rough. Oh, Joey, I was so fucking mad. And Nathan Cleary Nathan Cleary seems like a very nice guy, all right? He seems like a really lovely guy. But I think he needs to stay away from Origin footy, honestly. I know Mitch Moses, like, was injured. Which sucks doubly for me because obviously I'm a Eel supporter, so that is extra sucky for me. But I always do that. I always get them mixed up with each other. All right, so actor Nick on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I need to actually click on them so I know which freaking column I'm in. The dyslexia is off the Norton. Is there a Nick Norton? Is somebody called Norton? I don't know. I'm going with that. No, wait, that doesn't even fit. Oh, well, I got excited for no reason. Nick. Is there somebody called Nick? Oh, this is base. This is Nolte. This is Nick Nolte. Okay. I think there's a Nick Nolte. That seems like that sounds... All right, what's this then? From way back when. Awful. Awful. All right. Does anyone know anything about basketball? The NBA Pacers, like a nickname for the NBA Pacers. Do they have a nickname? Ye old. Yeah, let's just do... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I did that because I'm dumb. Shut up. Shut up, crossword. Stop judging me. That was it. That was it. We did it. My one brain cell is working overtime today, guys. Oh my goodness. That shouldn't have been that hard for me, but it really just was. Yeah, honestly, games 1 and 2 should have easily been New South Wales, but last night, oh my god, freaking hell. My neighbors must think I'm the biggest psycho out. Because I don't know if you can tell my voice is kind of, yeah, I've been working on a lot of stuff. Oh, I've got a video coming out. It's just sort of like stream highlights and stuff, just like edited down into a video. I've got one coming out on YouTube at 12:15 tonight, or this morning technically, I guess. If you guys want to check it out, I'm trying to get monetization on YouTube because it's a lot more lucrative and I want money. All right, let's try connections. Yeah, Rubber Dub Dan, the New York Times are shit. Can we get a pre-watch on stream? It's not uploaded yet. I would have to pre-launch. Animated emotes on Discord. I will have a look at that and get back to you. I'm using what little RAM my little brain has. Oh no. It's yeah, it's gonna be uploaded then. Yeah. All right. Gotta do 4 themes, 4 words per theme. We got drab, blow, misspoke, tire, duct, waste, fatigue, I relate, exhaust, rim, car key, hose, loose, pipe, hub, and camo. Okay, I feel like camo and car key are gonna go together, but I mean, that could be a red herring. Camo, car key, fatigue. Oh, this might be names for army uniforms, right? Because they call them fatigues, car key, camo. What else did they call them? I don't know. See, now I'm lost. I got too excited. Drab, blow, miss, spoke, tire, duct, waste, exhaust, rim, hose, loose pipe, hub. Huh, maybe I did get too excited too soon. Drabs? All right, we'll try drab. All right, fingers crossed, let's go. Military clothing! Yay! Nah, it took it. It must be an Americanism. Ah, that was exciting. Finally, something's going my way. Exhaust pipe, duct. Exhaust pipe, duct. Hose? What do we think about exhaust, duct, pipe, and hose? They're all like types of pipes. It can't be pipe. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past the New York Times. I mean, we've got 4 chances. I'm going to give it a crack. See what happens. Used in ventilation. Tire, rim. Tire, rim, blow, hub. I'm going to try that just because. No. Oh, okay. Well, I was on a roll. Hub, spoke, rim, tire. Should I try that instead? Yeah, I'm gonna try that instead. Yep, parts of a wheel. Loose, blow, miss, and waste. Fail to take advantage of as an opportunity. Yay! Yay! Well, I have absolutely no content for today, guys, so I don't know, stuff's going down with Epstein, apparently. I think we looked at that last night, but it wasn't... It was pretty anticlimactic. It's like, here's some CCTV footage of absolutely nothing happening. It's like, oh, okay. Well, the mystery has been solved, guys. What? Did anybody do anything exciting today or just work? What's going on? Did anyone else watch the footy last night, or am I the only lowbrow person in this community? I would say that's probably the case. That would be my assumption. My friend was at a core stadium last night, and he said, like, the Queenslanders were absolutely feral. Him and his missus were just like, oh my god, let it end. Let it end. They were just speaking to each other in Korean so they could talk smack about all the Queenslanders around them. They're like, none of these people are bilingual, we'll be right. Your entire family chat went ballistic with excitement. Well, that must be nice. It must be nice to win. Although we won last year, so that was nice. Oh, la, 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 la. I'm so tired. Peak entertainment, me scrolling. At the end of the day, they're still Queenslanders. That's true, Dan, and they will have to live with that for the rest of their lives. So, I mean... You feel like so many big games have been down to penalties recently? Oh, they 100% have. It's been insane. Like, the only reason why GWS hasn't got a flag in the AFL is 100% because whenever we're going to win a prelim and then obviously go on to probably get a flag, and it's like, you know, there's 5 minutes left in the game or something, free kicks will just start raining down from the sky. They're just like setting up goals for whoever GWS is playing. It's like, well, why make a team in Western Sydney if you're not going to let us win? And like their whole plan was to get some young kids into AFL instead of NRL. That was like the whole plan, right? It's like, well, you know what would get kids to look at the game is if like Western Sydney was actually allowed to win something. Your whole family on your mum's side are NRL fans? Yeah, my dad rage quit rugby league when all the Super League bullshit happened, and when like Wests and Balmain merged, and when St George and Illawarra merged and all of that, he was like, fuck this. I'm not fucking with this shit anymore. But he was not happy about it because he's not Australian, but when he first moved to Australia, he used to work on the docks and he used to live in Balmain in like a share house. And so that was his footy team, and it just pissed him off. It just pissed him off so much. But yeah, it did change the game a lot. But Rupert Murdoch just doesn't want a working class people to have anything nice. What's new? He's always out here trying to ruin our lives. Brainwashing working class people into voting against their own interests. It really is diabolical. What a demon. What a demon of a human being. Oh, my cat's meowing. What's wrong? Hey, wait. All right, well, you do that then. It's all right. oh, you know what? My flatmate's gone out to the shops and she's probably crying because she's realized that they're gone. She's such a sook. Like, if it's dark outside and everyone's not in the house, she's like, meow, meow. I think she's just at the doorway, like, where are you? Where are you? You know what the little shit's been doing to me? She's been biting me after every single time I finish streaming. And I got like a puncture wound on my leg. I had to like get out the broad spectrum antibiotics, like the Bactroban, like cream, because I can get like infections really, really easily. So every time I get a little scratch, I have to do like broad spectrum antibiotic cream. And no, it's just like one fang that sunk so deeply into like my calf because she gets so upset. I'm gonna have to like set up a bed for her next to the computer so she can hang out with me. No, she's not my hater. She's obsessed with me, and that's why she's biting me, because I'm not with her. She wants to hang out with me, and she doesn't, for some reason in her mind, she's made up her own rules that she's not allowed in here. She's decided she's not allowed in here, but she is. She doesn't think she can come in here for some reason. And it's just a little rule, a little limitation that she's put on herself, but she won't come in, and so she's upset. Because this cat will sleep with, like, she sleeps with her head underneath my chin. She has her arms around me. Like, she's obsessed with me. I've never had a cat this clingy in my life. She's just... What is it, Nori? Hey, Baba. Nori. You can come in here, sweetie. Come on. No, she's just gonna cry. She's just gonna cry. Oh, let's watch a thing about the pygmy hippo. Is that what it's called, or did I just offend the hippo community? Probably. Oh my god, I edited down a thing. Yeah, my cat's name is Nori. I edited down a thing where I was like, you know, being I guess you could say critical of Hassan in some manner. So I got like all these like hate comments from like deranged Hassan fans. When I even prefaced before I started talking about it, I was like, I don't really want to talk about Hassan because like his little fan base is so deranged. They're going to come in and like start attacking me. And then it's just what they did. So that was fun. My favorite thing was somebody telling me that we need universal base income so that I don't need to waste my time slop tubing. And I was like, maybe you should have a look at the award wages for social workers in Australia, mate, because unless you're a massive YouTuber, like, you're not making that much money. Like, you're not. Like 1,000 views on like a little edit that I made of one of my streams is not social work money. Yeah. Like, mate, I'm not unemployed. Like, I would love to do content creation full time. Like, that would be sick. But I don't, because life in Australia is not cheap. And there's so much stuff that I need to do for my health that isn't covered by Medicare, right? Like I said before, like I go and get like infusions of this antioxidant called like glutathione, which is really good for people that take chemotherapy drugs. Do they just troll YouTube for Hassan content, foaming at the mouth? They 100% do, because it was all like ad hominem attacks, and they're just making all these assumptions about me, which like are just 100% incorrect, because yes, I am unfortunately very gainfully employed, and I would love I would love to like the channels that like just talk smack all day and like get 300,000 views for every like little video that they put out. Those guys are on like apparently like $200,000 a year. Like American dollars. Dude, I would quit tomorrow if I had those numbers. Like, you know, I like my job, and as far as like having to work, that's a job that I like to do because, you know, I'm motivated to get up in the morning because I know if I don't go to work, you know, somebody's going to miss out on their kids' enrollment for school. Like if I have to help an illiterate parent enroll their kid in school because, you know, child protection's going to step in if they're not enrolled, you know, by that set date, or like somebody's, you know, somebody needs me to go to like the Social Security Appeals Tribunal with them so they can get their Centrelink payments put back on and get back paid a year and whatever it is. So it's like, yeah, that's the only thing that motivates me to get up in the morning is like, I know that if I don't go to work, or I know if like if I chuck a sickie, it's really going to affect people in a massive way. And it's kind of good that I have that pressure because some days I'm just like, I'm in so much pain. I don't want to get out of bed. Oh, we're going to look at Mudang, what's he? Is he a pygmy hippopotamus? A midget hippopotamus? What is he? He's cute. Oh, there's a 2-hour video. Oh, look, he's my cat. He's biting someone. Maybe he's a zookeeper went and streamed or something. She's an angel. Is it a girl? Aw. Oh, look. I'm in here. Hi. It's me. She's just at the door meowing frantically. She's like, where did my friend go? Are they coming back? She has the worst anxiety ever, and I've had her since she was 8 weeks old, so I don't know where this trauma has come from because she is the most spoiled little baby. Trying to find a decent length one that isn't like hours. Oh well, let's just watch this 2-hour video about Mudang. What could go wrong? I think there's some of these guys at Taronga Zoo, if I'm not mistaken. You can go to Taronga Zoo and see them. I'm pretty sure. Have I had the same flatmate the whole time? Yeah, I have a very good flatmate that's just like very chill, very easygoing, very responsible, very just a good person. So I don't have to worry about like drama or anything like that. And it also means like I live in an inner city suburb, but it's like one of the cheaper ones. And so splitting the rent means I can put away a lot of money so that if I do have to take a hiatus because of my health, because disability support pension, I am very eligible for it, but it's like $29,000 a year, and I can't cover my basic costs on that. So like I like to put away as much money as I can while I'm working. So having like, I could afford to rent my own place, but I can't put away as much money when I do that. So it's really good to have a flatmate. It's also really like good to have a good person like that will drive me to hospital, and like they've driven me to hospital before, and like they'll take care of my cat, and they'll, you know, do all this stuff if I have to go, you know, if I have to go to Sydney for family reasons, because my family is like very, very dysfunctional, and I'm the person that always has to sort out messes. Like one of my brothers has schizophrenia, and all that responsibility went on me to get him hospitalized, to get him diagnosed, to get him on a disability support pension, to get him in supported living. That was all my responsibility. And I had to move him down to Melbourne for a year, rent him a studio flat for around the corner from me so I could get him linked up with the local health services, because my parents don't know how to do any of that stuff. Plus they're about 2 hours west of Sydney, so there's nothing out there. There's absolutely nothing out there. So while I'm doing all that stuff, like my flatmate was like helping me with my brother, like because I was really stressed and overwhelmed, and he was helping out a lot with that as well. Just, yeah, it was a whole thing. But yeah, so it is really good if you can find like a flatmate that's also like, you know, becomes like a really good friend, and you can sort of look out for each other. I think like ideally, I've had some shockers when I was at uni. So like from age 17 to age, how long did I live there? Probably age 20, 21, I want to say. I shared this flat in Potts Point with this cokehead, and she was a demon of a woman. Oh my goodness, the stuff that chick put me through. Never paid her rent, and like I'm studying full time, working full time. You know, my parents don't have money, they can't help me out, and she just wouldn't pay her rent, and I would have to, sometimes I would only have like $20 to last me a week for food, because I would have to, you know, I would have to pay the rent, because if you're 2 weeks late on rent, like you're in arrears and you're getting an eviction notice, right? And she just didn't seem to flip and care, and it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. Oh, wow, I'm stressing myself out with that memory. It was so bad. Aww, what a little baby. Oh, dude. Hyperbovian, she would eat the food that I bought to like last me like a fortnight. I would buy food that was supposed to last me a fortnight, and I would have like stuff in the freezer, stuff in the fridge, and her and her boyfriend would come like home, because her boyfriend was a dealer, and they would come home from like Oxford Street or wherever they'd been, usually like Oxford Street or the Cross, because obviously we were in Potts Point. And yeah, they would just eat all my food, and I would have like no money and no food, and I'm just like, and then the other thing is she would just trash the kitchen, but she would be so off her tits that she wouldn't realize that she was the one that trashed the kitchen. So I would hear her like muttering to herself about how I've just left all these dishes there, and I'm just thinking, bitch, fucking hell. Luckily there was a dishwasher in that flat. Like it had like a cute little galley kitchen with like a dishwasher and all that stuff, because it was like an art deco flat. So everything in there was really, really old, but luckily that was one thing that they updated, which was the kitchen. So there was a dishwasher, so I would just always do her dishes. I'm like, well, I'm not fucking dealing with that. But ironically, her boyfriend, the coke dealer, was the sweetest guy. And whenever, like, he actually helped me out quite a few times, like, sorting her out for me, because I would just kind of say to him, like, hey, this is the situation. And he'd be like, what the fuck? Oh, she didn't say that was your food. I asked her if it was okay to eat. She didn't say, like, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, she never has food. I've never seen her buy food. I've never seen her eat. I've never seen that girl eat. Like, I don't know if she eats. I don't know where she eats. It's not here, but yeah. But he was a really, really sweet guy. Except for one time when there was a band that I liked playing at a club on Oxford Street, and he was like, oh, do you want to go? Because he was the dealer at that club. So he was like there to like sell to people and sell to the band and stuff. And so he was like, oh, do you want to come? So we walked from Potts Point to just to Darlinghurst, which is not that far, you know, it's maybe like 20-25 minutes. And on the way there, he's like, I really want to kiss you right now. And I said, fuck off. Oh, I almost said his name. And I said, fuck off. And he goes, oh, okay, that was harsh. And I'm like, dude, could you imagine if I kissed that girl's boyfriend? She would freaking stab me. Like, I would be dead. I would be dead. But he cheated on her all the time. And I'm like, not me. I'm not getting involved in this mess. Like, I'm not into messy, you know, romantic entanglements. That is not.
But yeah, apart from that, but he was such a sleaze. He was sleeping with half of Sydney because he was a really good looking guy. And obviously he had a lot of money. But he lived in Western Sydney with his parents, but he would just stay at our place like five nights a week. But once I like told him to fuck off, he never like tried to be creepy ever again. He would just like give me compliments or like if I looked nice or something if I was going out with my mates, but he wasn't creepy. So I like that. I respect that. You tell someone to fuck off and they're like, all right, I'm fucking right off. And it's like, yeah, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Housemates drinking your alcohol is the worst because alcohol is so expensive, especially when you're like a student, when you're a teenager or in your early 20s. It's so bad. All right, Mudang. Enough about crack den talk. Let's watch Mudang. There's not really audio, there's just people talking in Thai. That's probably why you can't hear it. Like I can hear it, but I can't speak Thai. It's just like the people watching. Like this isn't a documentary or anything. I think it's just a live feed of his birthday. You can hear background, there's audio. Yeah, there is audio. It's just literally like the spectators talking in Thai. So yeah, I don't think this is like a documentary about Mudang. It's just like, oh, it's his birthday. Let's film him being a little baby hippo. Yay. He's just literally doing nothing and everyone's like, oh my god, look at him do nothing. She's extremely cute. I always thought it was a boy. I don't know. When do I think Mudang will get her first kill? What, like a person? I think that's the full-size hippos that like are fully homicidal, that like to kill people. I don't think these ones are like big enough to go chomp. Those are like the giant African hippopotamuses. Or I guess they're just hippos, right? These are the pygmy ones, I think. That's my understanding of the people eating situation. Yeah, he's not doing much. Let's see if we can find, like, something with commentary or something. He's very cute, though. I keep on calling it a boy. It's not a boy. It's a girl. Meow. Meow.
She's quickly become an internet sensation. These days, Mudang, the baby pygmy hippopotamus, seems to be everywhere.
She is so adorable.
Across social media and websites, the meme of the moment. And so we're in Thailand. She's this way. Seeking out this unlikely superstar in the flesh. All of it. The rolls, the cheeks.
What do you like about her?
Because she's cute.
She's cute.
Yeah. most of the time I just see them on the internet. It makes me a little bit like, oh, it looks unreal that I get to see them with my own very eyes.
To see the curvy it girl, who at 2 months old.
Yeah, no rate cuts for people with mortgages. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to talk about interest rates because it's just like not something that affects me. Yeah, it's just not. I just don't. Not that like I only talk about things that affect me, but it's just so hard for me to even conceptualize how mortgage rate cuts. I mean, for people that like are struggling families that maybe have like, you know, got a house for like 600,000 or something because they bought it like in a rural area or something. Those are people I'm like, okay, well, I hope they get rate cuts. But yeah, so many people that like have like investment properties and this, that, and the other. It's like, well, if you can't hold out and more houses go onto the market, I mean, not that, you know, I can afford to buy one, but maybe somebody can. I think it seems like, you know, there's 5% deposit schemes and all of that like happening. I'm gonna like try and look at buying a flat soon because they have come down a lot in the suburb that I live. And if I could secure that on a 5% deposit, that would be sick. Because I think the mortgage would be pretty doable. I have to, you know, I'd have to call the bank and run the numbers, but yeah, a house just isn't happening.
Has become the call sign for a world needing distraction and finding it cute, moist, and unbothered.
Meow, meow,
Whether
meow.
she walks, eats, plays around, anything Muding does gets a reaction.
Muding fever started just after she was born, when the zoo uploaded the first images of her to Instagram. Safe to say, the world went wild for the sassy, slippery baby, whose name means bouncing pig or pork patty. Her keeper, Adiponundi, is the human behind her star power and can't keep up with demand for more. Muding is not more tired by this. The one who's tired is here, he says.
Do you think she realizes how popular she is?
Muding
No,
may
she's
not
a
know,
hippo.
he says, but her mom may be surprised, as before it was quiet. Here at the zoo, attendance has swelled to over 10,000 visitors on some days.
People can't get enough and they keep coming.
Thais and tourists of all ages. It's a boon for the zoo.
Can I get a t-shirt? Out of stock.
And officials say for conservation efforts too, with pygmy hippos considered an endangered species. Cameras offer a 24/7 live stream, but we watched Muding do her thing for real as she lumbered, slept, found a cool corner, and slept some more.
It's so cute, very cute.
And we saw that between those viral antics making her famous, this is the one thing Muding wants most: to be close to her mom, Jonah, never waddling away for more than a minute. Just a little girl, still new to the world, and unaware of how much.
She looks like she's some type of mythical creature. Like she looks like she came out of like a magical egg or something. Aww.
It adores her.
Now, Muding is not the first famous animal on the internet, but she is next level popular. That adorable face is now a registered trademark at the zoo. So we can look forward to more Muding merchandise, fan pages, and fame to come after nap time, of course. Guys, back to you.
I love her. Janice, did you love her in person just as much?
I loved her in person. I wanted to.
What do you want to bet that the lady at the zoo did have t-shirts in stock, but she was like, oh god, this blonde American lady, I don't want to deal with you, woman. She was like, no have, no more, all gone. And then she's just like saying to her friends in Thai, like, F this bish. I'm not gonna give her a t-shirt.
Reach out and grab those cheeks to squeeze them just once and have my fingers slip off of them. She was really adorable. And the way she was staying close to her mom, it was like, you know, she that's her natural habitat. So that was really nice to see too.
Come on, the rolls.
The rolls,
endless
I just
rolls are
She's
our
just
favorites.
a hunk of slippery love, you know? I love it.
Thank you,
Janice, thank you.
Speaking of a hunk of slippery love.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
These freaking Kuma boomers on television. Why are all the horny old men on television? Like, calm down, mate. No one wants to know about your... No one needs to know. Oh, let's watch a 9 News update. Trump says Israel-Hamas ceasefire imminent. Rebels sink cargo ship. Ooh. Intriguing.
US President Donald Trump believes a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas could be mere days away. And tonight there's another sign a deal is imminent with a new agreement to release more Israeli hostages.
Gaza up in smoke by day and by night. Explosions once again rock the Strip, but the US president believes the violence could stop in days.
There's a very good chance that we'll have a settlement, an agreement of some kind this week and maybe next week if not.
Israel's Prime Minister at the Pentagon praising US strikes on Iran's nuclear sites.
Frankly, it was like the roar of two lions.
As the Trump administration...
See, BB's worked out he has to stroke Trump's ego. You can tell it's killing him inside, but he's like, if I don't play bottom bish, Trump's not going to go along with my evil plans for Middle Eastern domination. So I've got to play ball, but you can tell it's killing him. He's so used to having American presidents, you know, just roll over and do whatever he wants. This must be killing him inside.
Sanctioned Francesca Albanese, the UN investigator critical of Israel's war in Gaza. Ceasefire talks continued. Hamas has confirmed 10 Israeli hostages will be released, but has
It's like a girl trying to reassure, you know, her boyfriend about like, no, I love your puny little arms, baby. They're hot. They're like two Allen snakes slithering. Yeah. The roar of two lions. That's what it sounds like.
Described ceasefire negotiations in Qatar as difficult. Israel and the US are in lockstep.
I want to achieve the release of our hostages. We want to end Hamas rule in Gaza.
The US president also wants an end to war in Ukraine.
They're getting hit hard, very hard.
Russia launching its largest drone attack of the war. More than 700 fired at Ukrainian cities. The Kremlin undeterred by this comment from President Trump.
Nori, it's okay. Yeah, come here, Baba. Good girl. What's wrong, Baba? You can come here. Do you want to come here? What are you so stressed about? They're gonna come home. Yeah, they're gonna come home. Yeah, they're gonna come. They're gonna come soon, okay? It's alright. It's okay. Oh my goodness, she's got such bad anxiety. Poor baby.
We get a lot of thrown at us by Putin for you want to know the truth.
One Russian newspaper saying of the commander-in-chief, he changes his mind as easily as he changes shoes. Pope Leo welcomed Volodymyr Zelensky in a private audience, the pontiff saying he's open to hosting peace talks, but that seems distant. In the United States, Jonathan Kersley, 9 News.
Houthi rebels are back on the attack in the Red Sea, blowing up a cargo ship. It's the second ambush in the past week, drawing condemnation from the United Nations.
Oh, is that a certain fan base fan bases, wait. Me speak English good. Is that a certain streamers with a rabbit fan base's boyfriend that are the Luffy-esque Hootie? Do you say Hootie or Hootie? I don't know. I don't know the correct pronunciation. But they kind of got this bromance going on, and like it's kind of a little bit cute. Kind of a little bit cute. They're like always like sending each other like love heart pictures or something. It's like, oh, it would be so endearing if the context was slightly different, but sure, okay.
Missile after missile fired at a cargo ship in the Red Sea with 25 crew on board.
Ooh.
A slick video produced by Yemen's Houthi rebels as tensions again flare on the busy trade route. God is the greatest, death to America, death to Israel, they chant, as the Eternity Sea is hit by rocket-propelled grenades. Crew on board the Liberian-flagged vessel were contacted over the radio, the rebels then offering to rescue them from the now sinking ship.
She can go back and take you and help you. There is no any danger against you at all.
Just 6 crew members were rescued and at least 3 others reportedly killed.
Oh shit.
With oil leaking from the vessel, it begins to take on water before disappearing beneath the waves. US officials say many others were kidnapped. The Iran-aligned group says it's acting in support of Palestinians in Gaza, claiming often falsely that it's only targeting ships linked to Israel, the US or the UK. The strike follows a similar attack on another vessel earlier this week.
Base Houthi leaving Australian ships alone, assuming we have any in the region anyway. But they didn't say they were targeting us, so based Houthi or Houthi, I'm not sure. I will have to ask somebody, who are these guys? So they're, I guess you would call them a paramilitary group from Yemen rather. Yemeni are the people. Yemen is the country. I am firing on all cylinders today. And Hassan Piker has like a bromance with this one guy. Hang on. I don't know why I kind of, is joke. Oh, okay. I can't tell if you're joking, Joey. Number 1, I'm dumb. And number 2, it's I can't hear tone or anything like that, so.
The United Nations Special Envoy calling the strikes a concerning escalation.
Yemen must not be drawn deeper into regional crises that threaten to unravel the already extremely fragile situation in the country.
Ongoing terror on one of the world's most crucial shipping routes. Eddie Meyer, 9 News.
A 1 in a million miracle. That's how the father of a missing surfer has described finding his teenager alive and well. Darcy Defaults was stranded overnight on an island 13 kilometres off the mid-north coast.
His last name is Defaults. What the heck? That's kind of cool. I want my surname to be Default. The people would just think that like you didn't fill in your form properly and that you just left the word defaults in there by mistake. Like you didn't clear the text entirely before you started entering your name on like your your ID and stuff.
After drifting there on his surfboard.
Jet skis and boats hit the water at Wooleye, an hour north of Coffs Harbour. This small and tight-knit community has mobilised to rescue one of their own. 19-year-old Darcy Defaults went for a surf yesterday afternoon and didn't come home.
It's surreal, actually. There was so many of the community that got together so quickly.
The call for help went out last night over social media from Darcy.
That's kind of not interesting. I mean, good for him. I'm glad he's okay, but it's kind of, not world news. Are Houthis still in control of the capital? Yeah, I believe so. Hang on, guys. I'm just gonna have a quick BRB just to check on my cat. She's very... I'm glad the kids are okay, but Darcy default sounds like a Fortnite character. Yeah. Like, if I was, like, an admin worker and I saw the name Darcy default, I would assume that, like, they didn't clear the text properly before, like, entering their name, and they just left the word default there. Like, 100%, that's what you would think. It sounds so bizarre. Such a bizarre name. Anyway, just gonna BRB, check on little Princess Sparkles, who's having a separation anxiety. And the thing is, she'll just ignore him when he's here. She's all over me all the time. All she wants to do is look at me, be with me, sit on me, except for when I'm in here on the computer. But yeah, she's yeah, she's having a mental breakdown. So I'm gonna go pick her up and give her a cuddle, and hopefully that will reset her circuitry, and she will be okay. We could watch this video from Legal Mindset about, like, updates on the Casey Tron and the Frogan and the denims of it all. Oh, something weird happened. But I don't know, whenever I talk about Hassan, it's like these people just materialize and I don't know, start telling me to get a job. It's yeah, I don't know. Yeah, should we go there or should we not? I don't know. You're not sure there's many updates since last time? No, I don't think there is. There's been a few law tubers talking about it, but they've just been saying the same thing, like Ethan Klein's, you know, got a pretty good case. You know, there's never a 100% certainty that, like, they're gonna, you know, be found liable for damages, but it's yeah, Ethan Klein's definitely gonna have the better solicitors, or sorry, attorneys, and he's definitely got the better case. So yeah. Oh, Epstein. What you said, re-incitement and digital threats. Yeah. I just I feel like controversial statement, but you think it's weird that failed reality stars like Trump or random streamers like Asmund or Hassan can significantly impact the geopolitical climate. Yeah, I also feel that's I also feel that's insane. I mean, but I suppose we always had these talking heads on television and stuff like that anyway, right? We always had that to some degree, but they were at least usually like people that, you know, had a doctor of philosophy in political science, or, you know, from a noteworthy institution. They had, you know, were very credentialed people, not just like somebody with a bachelor's degree and a webcam. So yeah, I can definitely see it is really crazy how many people live or die by the words of like Twitch streamers. They've got to wait to hear what their daddy says before, you know, they decide what opinions they're going to have about something, what perspective they're going to take. And even just going around like a frothing weirdo attacking people. Like, I don't want to play like the Oppression Olympics games, but they're attacking a disabled woman that grew up in poverty. How dare they? How dare they? Like, according to their own rules of conduct, like, they should just leave me alone. They should give me stuff. Send me stuff, Hassan's fans. You owe it to me, because I am an oppressed little butterfly, and you know, how dare you? How very dare. All right, let's watch something on the Houthis, because I win the pissing contest, yeah. How do I spell anything? Why the Houthis control half of Yemen? It's a half-hour video, though. I'll let the chat decide if you want to watch that, or I can find something shorter. USA, no mandatory vote. Make it all about who can recruit the most radicals. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Just uploaded the new emotes to the Discord. Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I need to shuffle people over to the Discord, get people in there, and like what you guys want to talk about on stream and stuff like that, so I can actually do some prep work and try and, you know, put together things that are a bit, you know, of higher quality for you guys. That would probably be a considerate thing to do. All right. Yeah, we're just gonna go with this Houthi video, I guess, unless there's something better. Well, that's 4 hours. I'm not watching that. Oh, look at this. Look at this production quality.
And the discovery of oil on the southern edge of the Arabian Peninsula created a new situation in Yemen. After centuries of colonial rule and decades of division, Yemen...
Oh, this is like such a posh accent. I feel like I'm like at Oxford or Cambridge or something. Ooh, I feel so fancy.
Was not only going to gain its independence, but be united as well. However, the economic problems, poor governance, and internal fragmentation that had plagued the region in the previous decades had not gone anywhere, and very soon after the unification, all these problems reared their ugly heads. Welcome to our video on the modern history of Yemen, its civil wars, the Houthi movement, and the current state of affairs in this country. This video is made available for free thanks to our YouTube members and patrons. We fund our free content through our program of exclusive videos made for our members and patrons who get...
I don't know how much commentary I'm going to be able to add to this, because it's not something that I can kind of talk about periphery things around it. I mean, I might be able to. It depends what's in the video. So just kind of worry about that given the current state of the world with like fair use and React like commentary videos, but we'll see how we go. But I'll give him a like and subscribe, and obviously if you guys want to do that, that would be pretty cool. But this video's been up for a while, so it's not like I'm poaching views from him or anything. Like, it seems like he obviously puts a lot of work into his content, so just don't want to be a dickhead. Oh, it's not that I'm not feeling that. It's just like, this is like, you know, this guy obviously really cares about his
2 documentaries per week
work.
not available to the public. We've got a growing collection featuring the First Punic War, the history of Prussia, the Italian Unification Wars, and a review of the classic text Xenophon's Anabasis. We're now covering the Russo-Japanese War and Albigensian Crusades, not to mention our massive...
You know what? I might join this guy's Patreon because this sounds like the type of stuff I want to watch in my free time. Like, I'm not even joking. This is like... this is the type of stuff that I really like.
Pacific War week-by-week coverage, and a massive pool of other projects. All this is made for and with generous donations from our backers. So if you're enjoying our content and want to see more and support the cause of history, consider becoming a YouTube member or patron. You'll also get early access to public content, a spot in our lively Discord server, and behind-the-scenes info and goodies. We rely on our backers to support our growing team pumping out these videos, so thank you to everyone already involved, and we hope you'll consider joining in too. After the formal unification of the Yemen Arab Republic and the People's Democratic Republic of Yemen into one nation, the leader of the former, Ali Abdullah Saleh, became the president of the country, while the leader of the latter, Ali Salem al-Baid, was given the position of vice president. North Yemen had a higher population than the south, with approximately 12 million people compared to 2 to 3 million. Because of this, the North would be given a higher proportion of representation in the new state apparatus, with 26 individuals from North Yemen taking part in the election of the Presidential Council, alongside 17 southern Yemeni counterparts. These 43 representatives would rule the country through its transitional period. Beneath them, a provisional parliament with 159 members. With 159 members from the north and 111 from the south, was established to carry out lawmaking until proper elections could be held. North Yemen's larger population, combined with the fact that South Yemen was transitioning into the political and economic system of North Yemen, inevitably made Sana'a the senior partner in this coalition. Thus, it was only a matter of time before the southern Yemeni people began to sense that they were being eaten by a larger neighbor and grow discontent with this new status quo. Despite the unification and the oil the country was now selling, Yemen was still a pretty poor country, particularly by the standards of the other countries of the Arabian Peninsula. Because of this, many Yemenis left the country to find work in Saudi Arabia. When Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990, the Yemeni government refused to support the military intervention in Iraq. Saudi Arabia was one of the key members of the anti-Saddam coalition, and in retaliation, they expelled 800,000 Yemeni laborers from their country. This was a major economic burden for an already economically embattled Yemen. Before long, there were food shortages across the country, and hunger riots broke out in 1992. In April 1993, unified Yemen held its first parliamentary election. In it, Saleh's General People's Congress received the most votes and earned 122 seats, while the Islamist Party of Al-Islah came in second. Meanwhile, the Yemeni Socialist Party, the former ruling party of South Yemen, trailed behind as a distant third, winning only 56 seats. Although these three parties formed a coalition, Saleh and his party were now the most dominant force in Yemeni politics, and southern influence in the newly unified nation was gradually dissipating. At the time of unification, the South...
Yeah, I don't really have much to add, but we'll at least get up to like the formation of the Houthi, or like see if I can find it, or maybe just find a shorter video. I don't know. I just feel like I'm stealing this guy's content, you know. I'm just sitting here Well, yeah, we'll see. I might be able to add something. I mean, I do know stuff about stuff that was happening in the Middle East during this time period, but it just depends if it comes up or not, and if like there's any like peripheral or like supplementary information I can add. But we'll see how we go. Oh no, it's 100% a really good idea. It's just leave a like and a sub in exchange. Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely will. I'm probably actually going to subscribe to this dude's Patreon so I can watch his documentaries, because I'm so into that. Or maybe like buy it for my dad if I can work out a way to teach him how to use it over the phone, so he can, because my dad would love that, like to just watch history documentaries all day. He's like retired. He's you know, he doesn't have any money to do anything, so he would be like, he'd be chuffed to just sit around and watch history documentaries all day. That would be sick. He would like it a lot.
Was poorer, but basic services such as healthcare and education were at a higher level than in the north. However, the more populous, wealthy and powerful north was gradually imposing its dominance over the south and weakening the pre-existing systems there. Moreover, several southern politicians were assassinated by the jihadists, and many blamed Saleh for the orchestration of this violence. The breaking point in the North-South relations occurred when Vice President al-Baid left the capital, Sana'a, for Aden, in protest of the marginalization of the South. He stated that he would return to Sana'a only if the violence against his party and the economic marginalization of the South stopped. This impasse lasted for several months, until the document of pledge and agreement between the two sides was signed in January 1994. The agreement called for the review of the constitution and Yemen's economic programs, but ultimately it did nothing to stop another civil war in Yemen. Even after the unification, the armies of the two former Yemens had not been integrated together. Occasional skirmishes would occur between the north and south throughout the spring of 1993, which culminated in a tank battle in Amran in April of 1993. The point of no return occurred on May 4th, when the two belligerent forces started bombarding each other. Another civil war in Yemen had officially begun. The Northern Army, supported by the jihadists, very quickly gained the upper hand, and on May 20th captured Al Anad Air Base on the doorstep of the southern capital of Aden. The South responded by officially seceding from the unified Yemeni state and declaring the Democratic Republic of Yemen, with al-Baid as the president. However, on May 24th, the Northern Army captured Atak, an important city on the way to Yemen's southern oil fields. Both sides targeted the oil installations of the other, inflicting severe damage to Yemen's economy that would impact the nation long after the conclusion of the civil war. In July, the North captured Aden. A few days later, the southern leaders fled Yemen, bringing the war to a conclusion, with the North as the victors. Now, Saleh and the North were in full control of a unified Yemen. Once again, the South was represented by a vice president, this time named Abd Rabba Mansur Hadi. However, according to Stephen Day, Saleh was mainly interested in the appearance of power sharing, not genuine representation of southern interests in government. There were now fewer southerners in the cabinet, as Saleh chose to form a coalition with the Islah Party. A Yemen analyst, April Longley Ali, argued that the civil war of 1993 created two different narratives in Yemen. Under one version, the war laid to rest the notion of separation and solidified national unity. According to the other, the war laid to rest the notion of unity and ushered in a period of northern.
Oh, careful, careful, careful. Sorry, my cat's on the desk. You okay? What are you doing? You okay? Be careful. Okay, I don't know what that was. I think my cat was trying to hang out with me, but then she got scared and she ran away. So, yeah, that was that was interesting.
An occupation of the South. The second perception was, of course, prevalent in the South. Throughout the rest of the 1990s and until the Arab Spring, Saleh's position gradually became even stronger. Without needing to share his power with the Southerners, he began to rule like a strongman, placing his family members and allies in key positions in government. Many members of his Sanhan tribe got positions in the army and security. When Saleh was finally deposed, a US...
Yeah, we could probably just read the wiki, to be honest. We could probably just read the wiki. No context, it's just names. Yeah, that is true. It is, yeah. Maybe let's see if I can find like a short video information of... "7 minutes. History of the Houthi and the Bluefish."
This is the slogan of the Houthi movement, a small rebel army who now rule over 70% of Yemenis and are fighting a bitter war against Saudi Arabia and its allies. But how did a group from the mountains in Yemen's far north take control, and what exactly do they want?
According to Hassan, they just want to watch One Piece and have a good time. They're just like Luffy. They're just like Luffy. Luffy D Monkey in the house, guys.
The Houthis emerged in Yemen's northwestern Sada province in the 1990s, established by former MP and religious scholar Hussein al-Houthi. Al-Houthi said he wanted to protect and revive Zaydi Islam, a sect of Shiism that makes up 35% of Yemen's population. Zaydis have a long and powerful history in Yemen and had ruled large parts of the country under an imamate since the year 897. When a civil war broke out in North Yemen in 1962, the last imam was overthrown. The Houthis say that this, along with the ensuing government policies, left many Zaydis feeling increasingly disenfranchised. When al-Houthi emerged...
Okay, so there's like a religious, theocratic element to this then. It's, you know, there's Shia and Sunni Islam, and this is an offshoot of Shia, which is already like the more, what's a way to, would you say dogmatic form of Islam? I think that's a sensitive way to put it.
He began to rail against the influence of US imperialism and Saudi Salafism on Yemen's rulers, in particular on President Ali Abdullah Saleh, who himself was a Republican Zaydi. Al-Houthi's ideas appealed to many, but not all Zaydis supported him. His opponents accused him of pro-Iran links and a desire to reinstate the imamate, a theocratic system of rule led by a religious leader who must be a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad.
Did I say it the wrong way around, Hyperbovian? I thought I said Shiite is the more dogmatic one, but if I said it the other way around, then I'll see you, Dango. I hope you have a good dinner. Yeah, I often get my words mixed up with each other. If I've got like two words in my brain at the same time, I'll say like the latter first and the first one later. So I don't know. It's a thing that I do.
مستعدين أن نرى أنفسنا جنودا لأمريكا. لسنا مستعدين أن نرى اليهود يعبثون في البلاد الإسلامية هنا وهنا فنسكت. وثقوا لأنهم لم يسمعوا أحدا يتكلم.
The Houthis began gathering supporters, and in 2004 launched an armed rebellion against Saleh after he attempted to arrest.
We'll move on to Epstein after this, Joey. It's a really short video. I found a short one. So we'll move on to Epstein, you know, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more salacious, I guess.
Hussein al-Houthi. A few months later, al-Houthi was killed by Yemeni police, but his death only fueled what would become 6 years of fighting, known as the Sada Wars. By 2009, the Houthi insurgency had spread beyond Sada province and into Saudi territory, where a large number of Saudi's Shia population lived. Saudi intervened, pushing the Houthis back and helping Yemen's government regain control of its north. When the Arab Spring uprising spread to Yemen in 2011, the Houthis joined the protest movement that ultimately forced Saleh to step down after a 33-year rule. But Saleh didn't go quietly, and his fight with his replacement, Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi, would destabilize the country, leading to an economic crisis in what was already the region's poorest country. The Houthis saw an opportunity and re-emerged, retaking control in parts of the north. Then, in an unexpected move, they allied with their former enemy Saleh and stormed the capital Sana'a in September 2014. With the former president's system of patronage and corruption and his links within Yemen's divided army, the Houthis were met with little resistance.
أما هذه الخطوة التاريخية الحكيمة الرشيدة الصحيحة السليمة المسؤولة فهي لمصلحة هذا البلد، لأن من مصلحة هذا البلد أن لا يستمر الفراغ. استمرار الفراغ هو الخطأ وهو الخطر.
A new government was formed in Sana'a, and Houthi forces continued to expand their control rapidly, south to Ib province and west to Hodeidah. President Hadi fled the country and sought backup from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, that's cute. Look at them. It's friendship, guys. Friendship is magic. Always remember, friendship is magic. I miss the days where you could just like, you know, preschool and kindy days where you could just walk around holding hands with your mates. No one's judging you. Joey is a sleepy boy today.
Who is beginning to grow concerned about a Houthi re-emergence and what it could mean for Iran's influence on its border. In March 2015, a coalition led by Saudi and the UAE stepped in and launched a campaign of heavy bombings across Houthi strongholds.
To save Yemen from a takeover by a radical militant group, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and its GCC allies, as well as its allies outside the GCC, have made a decision to respond to the legitimate request by the legitimate president of Yemen and to provide the assistance needed.
The intervention was spearheaded by Mohammed bin Salman, then Saudi's Minister of Defense, and dubbed Operation Decisive Storm. As the name suggests, it was intended to be short and swift, reinstating Yemen's government in Sana'a and highlighting Salman's leadership potential ahead of his bid for Crown Prince. But the campaign failed to oust the Houthis, who strengthened their grip on power and continued to expand into government-held territories. A number of UN-led peace talks between both sides were attempted, including ceasefires and prisoner exchanges, but ultimately failed at stopping the conflict. Meanwhile,
oh no, the famine. The famine there is so bad. It's so bad. It's like, it's one of the worst places on the planet at the moment. Yemen is, yeah. It's, look at that poor little baby.
the humanitarian situation in Yemen became desperate, pushing the already impoverished people to the brink of famine. Human rights organizations accused both the Houthis and the Saudi-led coalition of crimes against humanity, including the targeting of civilian areas, hospitals and schools. In December 2017, Ali Abdullah Saleh formally broke ties with the rebels in a televised speech and announced he was open to dialogue with the Saudi-led coalition.
كل جماهير شعبنا العظيم في كل المحافظات في كل المديريات في كل العزل في كل الأحياء في كل مكان إلى أن يهبوا هبة رجل واحد للدفاع عن الثورة والجمهورية والوحدة والحرية.
The Houthis accused Saleh of treachery. 2 days later, the man who was once deemed invincible and survived numerous assassination attempts was killed by a Houthi sniper.
Well, surprise, surprise.
The began to root out all opposition in areas under their control, accused of detaining and torturing journalists, academics, students, and minorities, as well as recruiting child soldiers.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they continued to expand their territory, launching a series of reprisal attacks into Saudi Arabia. On the 14th of September 2019, Saudi's Aramco oil facilities were hit by drone strikes, shutting down 2 of its main facilities and taking out 5% of the global oil supply. The Houthis claimed the strike, citing it as a victory against their adversary. But Saudi and the US blamed Iran, accusing them of using the Houthis as cover to launch their own attacks on the Gulf. Iran denied playing a role in the attack, as well as repeated accusations that it funded and armed the Shia rebels since the beginning of the war. 6 years on, the Houthis look closer than ever to seizing total control of Yemen, confident they can hold out longer than the Saudis and the Yemeni government.
Well, they've certainly got their fans in the West in a certain demographic. Not going to elaborate on that further because I don't like... Look, I'm so glad that I chose to VTube and not like, you know, do my makeup and hair extra nice and like go and stream with my real face because, yeah, like you can't even be slightly critical of somebody that is kind of problematic in a lot of ways without their fan base coming for you. So yeah, we actually I'm not gonna say that because I value my life, but yeah, these I think a certain e-celebs little minions would be doxing me for sure, like, you know, sending my info to the state government, being like, fire her, fire her, fire her. Yay, we ruined somebody's life because they went for our internet boyfriend. That's bizarre people out there.
Nearly 6 decades after the Imamate was overthrown, what will happen if the Houthis win the war?
Well, there you go, guys. That is the Houthi. Tuk, 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 tuk. I'll be all right. Keep my head up. Yeah, I'll be all right. It's okay. I'm just glad that nobody knows what I look like because I was going to just like stream as myself, and I'm so glad I went the VTuber option because yeah, I don't need that hate. They're fighting other Muslims. Got it. Yeah. Well, I don't want to like compare it directly to like Ireland with like Protestants and Catholics because obviously like that's also an ethnic element because the native Irish people tended to be Catholic and the British people tended to be Protestant and were in the north primarily. So I don't want to like compare it to that, but it is factional, religious factional fighting subsets of like the same religion. I'm like, I don't want to compare it, but listen to me compare it. All right, here we go. Where's the Epstein tapes? I watched that yesterday. They're all covering it, everyone. What should I watch? What do you guys think? Do you think that like the CCTV footage is doctored? Do you think it's just nothing, like nothing happened? He just necked himself? Like, where is everybody landing? Oh no, Alex Jones. What's Alex Jones doing? He's always got the documents. Shouldn't he have the documents? If Alex Jones doesn't have the documents, then no one does. New York Post. You reckon it was murder, Ricochet? I mean, possibly. I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, the guy had dirt on everybody. You wouldn't want him testifying in a court of law and throwing everybody under the bus, possibly also getting a pretty good plea deal. Because if you've got that much dirt on a lot of influential people, you can, like, that gives you a lot of bargaining power. Moida? Yeah. Oh, wow. 60 Minutes Australia did. Oh, okay. That's old. That's not new. You feel like he might have too much dirt? Yeah, I can't find what's with people just not making 10-minute videos and stuff anymore. Like, leaked audio reveals Donald Trump threatened to bomb Moscow if Russia invaded Ukraine. Well, that sounds juicy. Let's watch that.
Leaked audio obtained by CNN claims that Donald Trump once threatened to bomb Moscow if Russia invaded Ukraine. The revelation came as the United States restarted some weapons shipments to...
I feel like this lady's been on the news for like our entire lives. She's kind of like our nan now. Am I the only person that feels like that? I feel like she's my nan. I know why I haven't seen her in a long time, because I don't live in Sydney anymore and she's on the New South Wales news. I was like, oh, that's my nan. I haven't seen her in so long.
Kyiv, after Ukraine suffered the largest aerial attack of the war so far.
A major cleanup after a massive strike. Russia's latest targeting Ukraine, a town near the Polish border, home to some of the country's army airfields. This aerial barrage is considered the worst of the war so far. President Zelensky, who met with Pope Leo at his summer residence, claims Russia fired more than 700 drones. This is a telling attack, he said, and it...
I'm dropping frames. Hang on, let me see if there's anything running in the background. I don't think there is, but let me have a squiz. Been like that since the vid started for you? Okay, I'm trying to see what it could be. Okay, that's my streaming stuff.
comes precisely at a time when so many efforts have been made to achieve peace. After weapons shipments were paused seemingly out of the blue last week by US Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth, the deal is back on.
So we're sending some defensive weapons to Ukraine, and I've approved that.
So who ordered the pause last week?
I don't know. What did you tell me?
I think that's a question for the
Go ahead. Yeah.
President Trump is now weighing up sending more Patriot missile systems, one of the world's most advanced aerial interceptors.
We're going to have to take a look at it. It's very expensive system. It's a shame that we have to spend so much money on a war that would have never happened if I were president.
As for how Donald Trump would have prevented the conflict, CNN has obtained audio from a 2024 fundraiser where Trump explained how he tried to deter the Russian president from attacking Ukraine.
To Putin, I said, if you go in to Ukraine, we're going to bomb out of Moscow. I'm telling you, I have no choice to public ones.
The Kremlin has dismissed the report, suggesting it could be fake. Harder to...
Yeah, you know what, guys? I don't know, it could very well be my internet. I did have TPG tell me they were going to do something with my internet plan, so maybe they're doing it now. I don't know. I'm not really sure what it is because everything's sort of optimized to not have anything running in the background. So I'm not really sure. There's not anything that I can see that would be taking up like RAM in the background or anything like that. So yeah, I guess we'll just watch this and then I'll just call it a night. Like, it's almost been 2 hours anyway, so it's not like I'm cutting out super early. And I'll see what I can suss out and hopefully have it better by tomorrow night. But yeah, it should be okay.
Ignore is a ruling from the European Court of Human Rights, which found Russia has committed unprecedented human rights abuses since it first invaded Ukraine in 2014.
Is the term Ruski offensive? I'm Russian and I don't find it offensive. So I give you the Ruski pass. I endow the Ruski pass upon you, Joey. You may use it.
But with the Kremlin refusing to recognise the court's previous decisions, any penalty levied against Russia will go unpaid. John Paul Gonzo, 10 News.
No dropped frames on YouTube? Well, that's good to hear. That's reassuring that they're not dropping. It might just be Twitch. It might not even be me. It might just be Twitch. I would like for that to be the case. Lemon Ruskies? Oh, yeah. Girls used to love those back in the day. The stollies, the lemon Ruskies. What do you call a half Russian, half Aussie? Panda? Pandadora? Is that what you call it? I don't know. What? A kangarooski? Maybe I should change my name to that. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, this weird Scottish guy that thinks Australia's not real. Let's watch this. This is hilarious.
This is Rag Reynolds. He's a Scottish YouTuber who's convinced that the entire country of Australia...
Do you think Rag Reynolds he's 100% trolling? Like, there's no way. At first, I thought he was just, like, a weirdo, but I'm like, nah, he's just a grade A troll. Yeah, he's 100% a flat earther, but he is, like, the most hardcore, like, Australians are all actors. Australia is, like, really just in South America and yada, yada, yada. And, like, I don't mind if I'm an actor. I just haven't received my check. Spongy Phantom, thank you for following.
doesn't really exist.
There's no proof that it exists. It's a fantasy. It's no more real than Narnia.
And while he'd eventually get into arguments with other large Australian creators, host podcasts in which he'd tell Australians that they weren't real, and even attempt to visit the non-existent country himself, his conspiracy theory began to develop on the 22nd of April 2014, when he'd start to express his hatred for the country.
If you could destroy one country in the world, which would it be? This is without a doubt the easiest question to ever answer, because the answer is Australia. That country is a waste of space.
Oh, he really put the emphasis on the first syllable of country, didn't he? Oof. He does not like us. Look, okay, you are Scottish, you are drunk, you swear a lot. We're drunk, we swear a lot. You know, we can be friends. I promise you. One of my best friends is Scottish. We get along very, very well. You know, look, we're not really that different, are we? That's all I'm saying.
Country is the worst place on earth. Australia. Bad.
That clip comes from one of the earliest videos posted to Rag Reynolds' channel, and it highlights it in the beginning. Although he clearly hated Australia, he still considered it a real place, yet this hatred wasn't only confined to his YouTube channel. He'd post tweets such as a public service, I will personally burn Australia to the ground, let's send Australia to space.
Mate, Australia burns itself to the ground, you know, semi-annually. Like, we don't need you to burn us to the ground. Like, our ecosystems have a way of burning themselves to the ground. So, you know, we're all good there, mate. We are a self-emulating country, so you're all good. You don't have to do it for us.
As well as one final banger reading, if Australia wins Eurovision, I will drown one puppy and burn one baby for every point they win by. Rag Reynolds didn't specify exactly where this hatred had come from, although as time progressed, his dislike for the country only continued to grow. Just over 2 years after initially stating that he'd like to burn Australia to the ground, he'd upload a new video simply titled Down with Australia, in which he began to outline why he hated the country so much, with his first point being that we simply have an annoying accent.
Australians have
I'm sorry, but I know I'm biased because I am Australian, but I love Australian accents. Like, I know you're not supposed to find your own accent hot, but I don't know. Australian men are just, mwah, chef's kiss. Like, honestly. I don't know. I just enjoy it. I just think it's like just a really friendly, like, nice accent. I just enjoy it.
Second most irritating accents on earth, beaten only by South Africans. Every time I hear a pathetic Australian say, "mate," I just want to punch them in their good for nothing liver. Since it's common knowledge that all Australians are alcoholics, a punch to an Australian.
Whoa, Mr. Scotsman, freaking pot calling the kettle black there. Every single Scottish person I know is a prolific drinker, and that's coming from somebody that used to drink a lot when I, you know, was medically able to. Now I have lupus and I can't, but yeah, look, that's you know, don't be chucking stones from your rehab center, okay? Look, we're all alcoholics. We can you know, let's not be hypocritical here. I'm not gonna call you an alcoholic, like, I'm not going to call Scottish people alcoholics because, you know, I'm Australian, so you should... Yeah, don't be chucking stones from your rehab centre, mate. It's all right.
Australians' liver would most likely be fatal.
Before he display a map showing that Australians have an average IQ of 60, being the lowest out of any country in the entire world.
Speaking of how dumb Australians are, the image on screen now is an IQ map of the world. As you can see, Australia has the lowest average IQ out of every single country on the planet.
Yeah, while these points showed that Rag Reynolds still believed in Australia's existence, it wasn't going to stay like this for much longer. Only 8 months after uploading Down with Australia, Rag Reynolds' hatred for the country would transform into the belief that Australia didn't exist at all.
I was certainly pretty mad over the existence of Australia, and then without warning, I came across some guy on Twitter claiming that Australia does not exist. This was a theory I had never even considered prior to that moment. I just found out that Australia isn't actually a real place. Can't believe I was mad about that place for so long. It all makes sense now. I, Rag Reynolds, am an Australia denier.
Now, Rag Reynolds' disbelief in Australia wasn't exactly an original idea.
If I become an Australian denier, does that mean I don't have to pay my taxes? I'm kind of stuck with it now, right? God damn it. Why didn't I think of this before? I don't want to do my taxes. Leave me alone. The right to drink beer in the park. Yeah. Do you know what I hate? Do you know what I hate the most is like open container laws? Like, sometimes you just want to go for a walk with a beer in your hand. Why is that illegal? Just let me live. Weren't the Victorian police cracking down on open containers in public transport recently? Like, why can't I have some bevies on the way home? Leave me alone. The right to say see you in the Northern Territory? 100%. I'm trying to stop swearing so I can take the vulgarity tag off of my YouTube. Oh no, I just said off of like an American. So I can take the vulgarity tag off my YouTube. They're getting to me. Soon I'm going to start saying, I'm just loving on this. I'm just hating on this. Grammar, people, let's use it. Thank you.
He even claimed in the previous clip that his theory had been inspired by another user on Twitter. In fact, the conspiracy theory dates all the way back to November of 2006, when the following post was made to the Flat Earth forums. Most of you have probably been brought up believing in the imaginary land called Australia. I bet many of you even learned about it in school. Well, the fact is that Australia doesn't really exist. Everything you've ever heard
I did learn about it at school. I even went to Old Government House and New Government House of New South Wales because I went to school in Western Sydney and it's in Parramatta, so it was close. And then I went to the new one in Sydney and I did all these things. Yeah, it was very educational. It's really education. Like I'm just, you know, I just really commend the set builders because they invented a whole history and everything for us, like, and not even a really interesting one. It's just man, it's so funny that people just go on the internet and shitpost and 20 years later Trump is bombing Iran. Yeah, that is interesting. That's one way to put it. No, I thought this guy was just like a crazy dude at first, but this guy is a troll. Like, this guy is 100% a troll. I come to the conclusion that he's just having too much fun. And look, like, if you're that bored, I mean, if I had the time to do shit like this, I probably would, to be honest. It's kind of something that I would do. Just troll an entire nation of people. I don't know. It sounds fun.
About it was made up, and any pictures of it you have seen were faked by the government. I'm sure you've even talked to people on the internet who claim to be from Australia. They are really secret government agents who are surfing the internet to enforce these false beliefs. We're not exactly sure why the government made up an imaginary continent, or why it is trying to convince the world that this continent is real, but we can tell you that we know for a fact that Australia doesn't really exist. Please join us in our quest to convince the world of the truth. However, as you might be able to gather from this reply, there was an
Yeah, Hyperbovian, hating an obscure country is kind of funny. And most people just go for France, right? That seems to be like the universal choice for a lot of people. You know, you ask them who they hate, they're like, I hate the French. And it's like, all right, well. But he went for Australia. So, you know, I respect it. He's thinking outside the bubble. And, you know, I commend you. I commend you, little crazy Scottish dude.
Exactly all that much evidence for the theory. There was one individual who posted a world map with and without Australia in the bottom right hand corner, and while this didn't exactly constitute evidence, the lack of proof for the theory hasn't stopped a select group of people from believing it to be true. In April of 2018, more than 200 individuals gathered in the UK city of Birmingham to discuss whether or not Australia was real, and while it's easy to laugh and scorn from a distance, one of the attendees actually had a pretty reasonable argument for why the theory might be true. Australia is not real. It's a hoax made for us to believe that Britain moved over their criminals to some place. In reality, all these criminals were loaded off the ships into the waters, drowning before they could see land ever again. It's a cover-up for one of the greatest mass murders in history, made by one of the most prominent empires. Now to get
Yo, guys, I just had a chilling thought. What if we're all ghosts? What if we're all dead? What if our descendants came to Australia, you know, on the first fleet, second fleet, third fleet, you know? What if Australia is the afterlife? What if when you thought your family were emigrating, when they immigrated to Australia, they were actually just actually just dying, and ghosts can have like babies and continue on the ghost cycle. Guys, dude, think about it. We are the twist. We are the twist in The Sixth Sense. We're through the looking glass, people. That explains why I'm so pasty. Oh my goodness. I thought it was the lupus and staying out of the sun, but no. I was born dead. I was born. Whoa. Holy shit. I can never look at the world again. I'm so glad I watched this video. I finally understand my place in the world.
Give credit where credit is due. This post establishes a pretty solid motive for why someone might have wanted to fake the country. However, as the post continued, it only got wackier and the credibility began to crumble. Your Australian friends, they're all actors and computer-generated personas, part of the plot to trick the world. If you think you've ever been to Australia, you're terribly wrong. The plane pilots are all in on this and have in all actuality only flown you to islands close nearby, or in some cases parts of South America, where they have cleared space and hired actors to act out as
Ricochet, you have jerry-rigged your PC or your laptop or whatever device you're watching on with, like, you know how Tesla and Edison and a few other inventors were working on ways to, like, talk to the dead? Yeah. You inadvertently purchased, like, a PC that allows you to hear the voices of the dead from across the River Styx to the country we call Australia. But, you know, for some reason, you know, an ancient god doesn't want us to know that we're all dead on this continent. But, you know, sometimes I feel dead inside. So that's a pretty good argument.
Australians. However, this is the point at which Rag Reynolds begins to stand out as unique, as he actually has his own theory for why Australia has been faked.
The theory goes like this. The founder of New Zealand hated how his people sounded when they spoke. It was necessary to make their country known as anything other than the worst received country known to man. So he got his council together and they put together a plan. They were going to take all of the worst parts of their culture, make it 50 times worse, ingrain it into the minds of 100 citizens with the lowest IQs, and then put those people into an abandoned city together with cameras on them 24/7. New Zealand had essentially set out to create a faux reality show in order to fool the world into thinking that there was a place worse than their homeland.
Rag Reynolds would then go on to add that Australia's unique wildlife, such as kangaroos, had been roboticized by New Zealand in order to reinforce the lie.
They decided it might be a good idea to start introducing strange new animals, so they created the robotic creature that we know today as a kangaroo.
With his evidence for this claim being a debate.org poll.
A poll shows that people are beginning to actually wake up and realise the truth that there's no Australia. 37% think yes, but 63% say no. A compelling argument is made here.
That is a compelling argument, and I cannot argue with that. Like, I'm just an incorporeal, like, form. How can I argue with you? I am just a bodiless soul floating on this dead continent, dead inside. Do I even exist? I don't know. I just don't even know anymore.
By a user going by the name of Massive Dump.
Rag Reynolds' conspiracy theory pitch would receive a dislike ratio of over 94%. However, the comments were surprisingly supportive. Being an Australian myself, I completely agree with this theory. I'm totally not a secret robot living on planet Oogly Boogly. Being from Australia, I'm shocked that such a genius found out our secret. We are all not real. Thank you for enlightening me on the heinous truth about Australia. I no longer think that it exists. Thank you, Rag Reynolds. However, while these Australians had successfully been convinced that they didn't actually exist, others needed a little more persuading, which led to a Rag Reynolds podcast episode on which he would invite 3 different Australians to argue about whether or not they existed.
I'm joined by self-proclaimed Australians as they're going to attempt to explain to me just why they think.
It's pronounced Australia, okay? There's no U there. There might be a U there technically, but there's not a U there, okay? It's Australia, and we all love ostriches. So get it right.
that Australia is a real place.
While the people on the podcast made some pretty reasonable points, Rag Reynolds couldn't be convinced, and if anything, judging by these videos, it would only further strengthen his belief that Australia wasn't real. However, it would be with these videos that the hornet's nest was stirred up, as shortly after posting them, other larger YouTubers began to make videos on the stupidity of Rag Reynolds' theory. The third largest YouTuber in Australia, Laserbeam, would upload a video titled "It Turns Out Australia is Fake."
No one's given literally any evidence. Nothing. They've just yelled at me and said it's fake.
Prompting a response titled "Dear Laserbeam, you are delusional."
He thinks he is from a place that he is not really from. He is clearly just drugged up. He does not seem to understand.
Look, if a part of this deal is that we get free drugs, I am willing to do my part in the Great Australian Heist, the scam, if you will. I will do my part. But I want, I probably shouldn't say that actually. I'll get banned. But, people who suffer with a lot of pain, like people like myself who have like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, we can't get painkillers anymore. So if someone would like to supply me with no, I can't say that. But I'm just saying, fill in the blanks. Okay? All right.
Understand logic, reason, he ignores facts.
Which was followed by Rag Reynolds getting into a full-blown YouTube war with one of Australia's most patriotic creators, Isaac Butterfield, leading both of them to argue about the theory on Isaac's podcast.
Maybe I've been coming at you from the wrong orientation, so I hope that maybe today I could fix that.
It seemed as though Rag Reynolds was never going to change his mind on Australia's existence. However, shortly
Well, his hypothesis isn't very consistent hyperbovian, but that's why we like it. We appreciate the method in his madness, or the methodlessness of his madness. Not sure which, but we appreciate it.
after beefing with these larger creators, the first sign of him coming back to reality appeared, specifically when he'd upload a video simply titled "I Was Wrong."
And now it's all starting to make a bit more sense. And now I don't know what to think. My main piece of evidence, my own experience, is not actual evidence. It's not what I thought it was. All I have left is speculation and theories.
And when looking at the comments on the video, one highlighted the most effective way for Rag Reynolds to confirm whether or not his suspicions were true. Why not book a ticket to Australia to see it for real? And this is exactly what he would do, although apparently this would only reinforce to Rag Reynolds that the country was in fact fake. He'd explain all of this in a video titled "I Went to Australia, It Isn't Real," in which he'd explained that during his trip, he had seen some things leading him to believe that it was a real place, although ultimately he believed that he had been drugged by the New Zealand government and the whole thing was simply a hallucination.
You do have to watch out for these Kiwis. They go around pretending they invented the flat white. They go around pretending they invented the pavlova. It's, there are sneaky people. Oh, the Australian style meat pie. They also invented that. Probably the Lamington too. Haven't heard them say that, but they're probably going to do that next. So keep your eyes out, and keep your eyes out on your flocks of sheep. Can I say that? I'm just joking, New Zealand. I love you. I do. I love you. You're all right. You go all right.
Hallucination.
When people go to Australia, they're actually landing in New Zealand. They are drugged. They imagine all of the experiences there.
Naturally, his audience began to call him out by stating that he never even went there in the first place, resulting in Rag Reynolds taking a polygraph test to confirm that he had in fact been to Australia.
I am a truth talker. Everything I say in my videos is the truth, and this polygraph test has just confirmed that.
However, by
Totally administered by a professional, guys, and not just a random computer graphic that he got to put into his OBS. Not at all. Not at all.
At this point, it seemed as though the criticism was getting all too much for him. In September of 2020, Rag Reynolds would upload a video titled "I'm Sorry."
Yeah. Thank you, New Zealand. Thank you for your service in the War of the Ring. The hobbits are safe. The elves have gone into the west and have left Middle Earth to the realms of men. Thank you. We do appreciate it.
Australia, in which he'd explained that he was struggling to deal with the negativity.
The hate I get, folks, the abuse I get in my comment section on every single video, people disliking my videos, my Instagram DMs, there's people being horrible to me. I don't know where it ends. It just goes on and it goes on, and it never seems to stop.
And that maybe after everything, he was in the wrong and it was time to apologize.
So maybe you people are right. It's time for...
Gone west to Collingwood. Well, a certain streamer who is a political streamer was, and not Australian, was seen wearing a Collingwood jersey, Guernsey. Victorians call them Guernseys. I don't know why, but they do, so just go with that. But that was interesting. I was like, well, that is an indictment of your character, to say the least, mate. But that's for another day.
For me to issue the first apology of my entire life.
This apology would come in one final video titled Australia Does Exist, during which, after all of this time, Rag Reynolds would finally admit that Australia was a real place.
Australia is real. Of course it's a real place. You can see pictures of it from satellites in space. They have lovely wildlife. And I would like to apologise to all Australians out there. Australians, Australia, I am sorry.
Only Rag Reynolds was very careful about the date on which this video was uploaded. April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day.
His son wears a Collingwood Guernsey. Yeah, 100%. I've seen him wear it on a few occasions. I mean, he wouldn't even know what AFL is, you know. I've seen him wearing a Wallabies jersey as well. He wouldn't, well, it's not even a Wallabies jersey, because it's like a sleeveless, like, it's like a wife beater type tank top, or I don't know what Americans call them. How do I... We'll spell it both ways. Let's go. Hassan has good taste. No comment, Bogan Aussie. We won't disparage your footy team, but I'm a Giants supporter. Yeah, I know we do exist. I was born and raised in Western Sydney and moved to Melbourne, so we do exist. Nah, sorry. I mean, there might be some Pies supporters. Wait, why didn't it? Oh, because I didn't spell Collingwood properly. Is that why it's not showing it? Probably put his surname. That might help. The TikTok says special needs. I'm not adding any commentary to that. The joke is too easy. I'm not making yeah, so there he is, guys. There he is in his Collingwood Guernsey or jersey, depending on where in Australia you hail from. I can't move my fat head out of the way, but you can see the little pictures. Can I visit this? It's in a subreddit. Oh no, I'm on Reddit, guys. There he is. There you go. That's for you, Aussie Bogan. I don't know if you're male or female or what way you swing, but maybe that's, you know, for the wank bank later on for you. You know, we do what we can around here to help people out. It's a community service, if you will. I was at, I think it was 2023, the prelim final with Collingwood and GWS, and I was leaving the MCG, and like, I am a tiny woman. I'm like 5'4", but I'm not like short, but I'm very like slight, like very small. And there's like guy, he would have been like between 6'2" and 6'4", I would say, but he was big. He was a unit, and he just walks straight at me and like shoulders me and knocks me over. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm from Western Sydney, and I've been to like games where like Panthers supporters and I think it was the 2003 no. Anyway, it was a game between Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs and Penrith. And someone got stabbed at High Street Macca's in Penrith. So, like, you know, I'm not like, oh my God, violence at a sporting event. But, yeah, this was, this was like, I was like, whoa, what is happening? Because usually, like, people leave chicks out of it, right? Usually people will just, like, try and punch on with, like, other dudes or, like, people their own size. It's like, yeah, I don't know. That was a thing that happened. Anyway, there you go. Collingwood supporter, do with that information what you will. Not making any commentary on that.
We're all fools. You're all drugged up and brainwashed.
And to this day, Rag Reynolds is still convinced that Australia isn't real.
We don't care about the mushroom trial. We've already talked about that. Well, guys, I'm gonna go because I got stuff to do. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I gotta go to bed. Gotta do a bunch of stuff before I go to bed. But yeah, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, bye. See you next time.